Welcome back to the Chad Hasty Show on News Talk 95.1 FM and 790 AM. KFYO, thank you very much for tuning in today. Stephen Orr with the West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show. Stephen, good morning. How are you?
Soggy. Little damp.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's okay. That's all right. We need a little bit of rain around the South Plains.
So, Chad, I'm sitting on deck here listening to that. Are you really a Texan if you're willing to have a political debate on Friday night? Come on.
Yeah, it's fine.
I think they should both be excommunicated.
It's fine. You know, it's at like 6 o'clock, and so that way maybe they can catch the 7 o'clock kickoffs. See, it's early enough. You get to watch 6 p.m. You go to the 7 o'clock kicks. That's how it works.
I'll tell you what it tells me. They're not in touch with the common man.
I just think they don't. I just think no one really cares that much.
Well, probably not, or maybe they don't want anybody to watch the debate because they're both going to look kind of silly.
Oh, I don't know. We'll see.
You got your umbrella, your slicker.
It's football weather, right?
It's going to. Well, you know, every year we have that week that we call, around here we call it football versus Mother Nature, and that's tonight. Man, it's going to, of course, you know, weather like this, when it's wet and there's a high chance of precipitation all across our coverage area tonight, that can sure level the playing field sometimes.
That's true.
Especially with as much as everybody throws the football out in West Texas, and you get a wet ball and things like that. And so there could be some really interesting games tonight, and some really soggy people before it's all said and done.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, tell us what some of the big games are this week.
Well, I think one of the ones that I'm looking at right off the bat that I'm anxious to see is Lubbock-Monterey taking on Lubbock-Cooper. Cooper beat Friendship last week. They stay in town to take on the Plainsmen to host them. And Cooper's at 3-0. Monterey at 2-1 though, and has really gotten off to a pretty good start. And that should be a pretty good ball game. Lubbock Coronado hosts Clovis, or travels to Clovis, New Mexico. Monterey played Clovis last week and won that game. I think Coronado probably comes out with a win. I think they have a stronger offense than what Monterey does, and I don't think Clovis will be able to keep up with them. Friendship taking on El Paso Andress. Friendship's at 1-2. Andress is at 2-1 on the year. Don't know a whole lot about Andress, but I know Friendship certainly needs to find that win column. They're still trying to get some traction. And after a hard game last week over Cooper, that would help them with some momentum. Hereford comes to town to take on the Lubbock Estacada Matadors, and Estacada's at 2-1. Hereford at 2-1, and probably one of the better teams that they've had in a couple of years. At least that's the way they're starting out, and I expect this one to be a close one, and it's a toss-up. Estacada does a great job moving the football. Can Hereford stop that? What will Estacada be able to do as far as defense there? I'm going to say the Matadors in a close one in that one. Shallow-Water hosts the Dalhart Golden Wolves. Shallow-Water's at 3-0 on the year. Dalhart comes in with a 2-1 record. Shallow-Water has the better strength of schedule so far, and I think that probably they'll win that one fairly handily if they're able to get things on track. Then you've got Idalou hosting Denver City. Idalou, a big win last week. They take on a Denver City team that's 2-1. And I don't know. Denver City has – I've not been blown away by them, but they've played good ball, and they've done what they had to do, and they're 2-1 as well. So we'll look at the Wildcats there. Slayton coming off that hard loss last week at New Deal. And Slayton's a real deal because so is New Deal. And that was like a 19-13 game, something like that, a low-scoring defensive game. Slayton can play physical football at home with Oklahoma coming to town, and I think they get the win there. Tahoka Bulldogs travel over to Littlefield tonight to play Littlefield at their homecoming. Tahoka 2-1 on the year, Littlefield 0-3, and they have just not been able to get anything going offensively this year. We'll see if they can turn the tide tonight over in Littlefield in that one, but I think the Bulldogs come away. A big game in Post as the Abernathy Antelopes travel down to Post to take on the Post Antelopes. Abernathy had their first loss of the year last week against the Wellington Skyrockets, and they're looking to rebound. Post comes off a big win last week, and this is one of the better games. Seems like every year when these two play, you know it's going to be physical, and you know it's going to be close, and I'll be anxious to see how that one turns out. Lubbock Roosevelt travels to Friona looking for their first win of the year, and Roosevelt just has not been able to get anything established on the offensive side of the ball. They're struggling to put up points, and they're giving up a ton. And against a 3-0 Friona team in Friona tonight, I think Roosevelt probably comes home with another loss, but we'll see. Lockney and Hale Center playing in Hale Center. The Owls are off to a 2-1 start. Lockney, another team that's really struggled on offense to putting points on the board, and I think Hale Center comes away with a win there. Lubbock Trinity Christian travels over to Sundown to take on the Roughnecks. Trinity Christian's at 2-0 on the year, Sundown 2-1. This is going to be the toughest game that Trinity's played so far, and they should have their hands full, but it could be a good game. I know Trinity's played some good ball. We'll follow that one. Also, Lubbock Christian goes down to Seagraves tonight. Lubbock Christian's at 2-1. Seagraves 1-2 there, and kind of like we've been saying, some of this is going to depend on who gets to do what as far as the weather is concerned.
Right.
Is it raining? New Home still looking for their first win of the year as they take on a 3-0 Hamlin team in New Home. Hamlin's gotten one of the better teams they've had in a few years, and so probably not going to happen tonight. And finally, the Ross Jackrabbits, we need to talk about them a second. They're off to a 3-0 start, one of their better starts in several years. They travel to Quanah to take on the Quanah Indians. Quanah, a big physical team that can run the football, which in weather like this, that's going to help them. But I think Rawls is really impressive, and I think they come home 4-0.
Really?
So that's kind of what we've got on tap. I think probably your best games, Abernathy Post is the one I would love to go watch that ball game. I'm also excited about Otterloo, Denver City, and I think that the Monterey Cooper game could be really good too.
Yeah, it sounds like they're going to have a lot of great games out there, and of course this is one of those with the weather. How many of these games are also going to maybe see some delays in them?
Well, and that's the thing is, could we get into weather delays? And on the other side of it, could this thing blow out just a little bit early, maybe break off and kind of dry things down and not be that big a deal?
Yeah. Which would be nice, I think, for everybody, right? Get a little bit of rain throughout the day, and then at night, calm things down.
Yeah, calm down, cool, crisp, fall night, football, it'd be great, but I think the weathermen are probably right this time.
Yeah, we'll see. So the Battle of the Lopes, that's the one to go and see.
That's the one I want to go see, and then Beto and Ted.
That's like tailgating. That's the worst tailgate I can think of.
Hey, come to my tailgate. We're going to have Beto and
that's what I want to do
on the big screen.
Yes,
and barbecue.
That fires everybody up right there.
We'll break that down next week.
Yeah, okay. Hey, Stephen, thank you very much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Well, Chad, I appreciate it. You have a great day.
You too. That's Stephen Orr, West Texas Friday Night Scoreboard Show, which you can hear right here on KFYO tonight, beginning at 10 p.m., lasting until midnight, as long as everybody's on time and gets their games in. Chad Hasty Show, KFYO.